Who is more wrong, Brooklyn or his parent?
I would always err on the side of David and Victoria's experience. The other kids seem happy.
Do you think Brooklyn did the right thing by speaking
No.
publicly?
No. David Beckham's answer was spot on. You know, like I'd say, it cost him about £800,000 to get that answer from a PR crisis manager.
Like
Rebecca Lewis maintained that they had an affair or whatever, and maybe they didn't, whatever it was, but it was handled very, very well by who I'm sure were up all night last night on conference calls trying to figure out what the best way to deal with this was. That was the start of very carefully controlled and managed public life. And they've done a great job.
Like we're talking about a woman who didn't eat chocolate like I don't know how many years, 40 years, and as far as I know, she's eating salmon every day.
Nice.
Hi guys!
Hi guys, how are you?
Welcome back again. We're gonna talk today about the Beckham drama.
Ah, the Beckhams!
Everyone online is talking about Beckham. Everyone is it's everywhere. Memes and AI, and it's just.
I read the statement last night watching television. It popped up on my Instagram, and I read the statement from Brooklyn Beckham. And you asked me, you said, "What are you reading?" I was like, "It's nothing," because I really wasn't that interested. And I read it to the end, and I was like, "Yeah, it's a bit juicy." But anyway, moving on. And then I woke up this morning, and the whole world was talking about it. They're obsessed with this.
But it's something big, though, no?
Yeah. Look, I guess so. Yeah.
Because Beckhams have like that perfect image, and
yes, and we love a little bit of gossip, right? And it probably is a bit of a break from the international news that's going on, so people are looking for something a little bit more lighthearted. Although one could argue that being lighthearted about a family falling apart is a bit dark, but I think what happens in these instances, and there's been many of them, so like you had obviously, like last year was Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni, that whole trial, so people love the gossip of that. Before that, of course, it was Harry and Meghan. Yeah. It was all Harry and Meghan, and Meghan with the royal family. And
there are a lot of similarities
of course
with Harry and Meghan. We're going to discuss about this.
Of course there is. The reason there are similarities is because every family has inside drama. Every family. And if you're watching this and you think that you don't have any inside drama in your family, yeah, they're talking about you. All right? The reason you don't know about it is they're keeping it from you. So it's this weird thing that we have as humans, is that we like to see other people, I suppose, suffering for want of a better word, but going through as much drama as we go through. And it's even nicer when they're rich, because you're like, oh, well, they look so happy all the time, they're not so happy now. So it's a little bit tall poppy syndrome. You know, I know the Irish are really good at that. We've been famous for that around the world. As Bono once said famously, in America, somebody will walk down the street and see a big house on a corner, and they will say, someday I'm going to do what that guy did, right? I'm going to achieve that. And in Ireland, a person walks down the road and sees a big house on a hill, they say, someday I'm going to get that bastard. And that's the way we do things in Ireland. And a lot of other countries around the world, it's not just the Irish.
That's funny.
So there's a bit of that in it, you know? It's like, flick your nose up towards David and Victoria Beckham. But like, really, it's just sad. It's sad that a kid feels like he has to do that in public, you know? But if you live your life in public, that's what happens. You know, the highs and the lows come out in the public.
Yeah, what I think, I can see both of them, their point of view, you know. I think they're both kind of right, you know. Like, it's Victoria. She didn't build the brand Beckham's because she is disciplined, she's controlled. Like, we're talking about a woman who didn't eat chocolate like I don't know how many years, 40 years, and as far as I know, she's eating salmon every day.
Nice.
That's the only thing she's eating.
Is that what you like, salmon? Go on.
I love salmon.
Yeah, it worked for Posh.
So we know about Victoria Beckham that she's very controlled.
Well, she's very disciplined and ambitious, and one would imagine she knows what she wants and she knows how to get it. Yeah,
that's why she has an empire. Like,
but that's why they got that far in life.
Yes.
It was all very expertly controlled from the very beginning. I mean, I remember when they got married. They got married in Ireland, actually, not far from here. And that was the start of very carefully controlled and managed public life. And they've done a great job, you know, but now one of the kids has turned against them.
and don't forget that like David Beckham cheated on
Well, he
her.
was rumoured to have cheated, allegedly. We have to be careful with that. He allegedly cheated with
Yes,
Rebecca
there was
Lewis.
rumors like
Rebecca
yes.
Lewis maintained that they had an affair or whatever. And maybe they did, maybe they didn't, whatever it was, but it was handled very, very well
She
by...
kept the family exactly. She's very
Yeah, but it was handled
focused.
very, very well, not just by Victoria and David, but also some very well paid crisis managers and PR companies who I'm sure were up all night last night on conference calls trying to figure out what the best way to deal with this was.
Yeah, for sure.
That's why they're on the big money.
And about Brooklyn.
So just for people who are watching this, they might know about it. Brooklyn Beckham and the Beckhams have been, they've had a little bit of a falling out over the last couple of years, right?
Yes, yes.
He went off and got married to a new girl called...
Nicola Peltz.
Yeah, okay, a very successful family, very already famous girl. And it's been frosty relations ever since. And no one really knew why. People knew that Brooklyn wasn't talking to his family, and there was legal letters and things like that, and all this kind of nonsense. I don't follow it that closely because I'm really not that interested. But just giving you a bit of background. And then yesterday, the bombshell was dropped by Brooklyn on his Instagram, I believe.
Yeah, emotional
Where,
statement.
about an emotional statement talking about the trauma that his family have put on him over the years, carefully managed public life, rights to his name being up for question, which you can't understand because Beckham is a brand. But anyway, that's besides the point. And also the way they treated his fiancée and now wife. From the start, by bringing even some of his ex-girlfriends into the fray to wind her up or whatever. That's his side of the story. He also said that Victoria danced inappropriately at his wedding when he was hoping for his first dance to be with his new wife, which is kind of tradition. You kind of dance with your wife first, but apparently his mother danced inappropriately, which is kind of weird. And speaking of someone who is not Victoria Beckham's son, I wouldn't mind seeing her dance inappropriately. I'm not gonna lie to you. She's a very attractive lady.
Excuse me.
Sorry, no, present company
We like
excluded.
Victoria. We like Victoria.
We all love Victoria. But anyway, that's the gist of it, and it's just a family having an argy-bargy, and unfortunately for the Beckhams, they do everything in the public.
Yes.
Happens in families.
And I wanted to say about Brooklyn. So he's born Beckham, right? So that's his job. He says always, "I'm supporting my family on an event." Yes, because you don't have a 9-to-5 job. Like that's your job.
Yeah.
Like why you say it like it's such a sacrifice as being.
Well, I'm sure it's difficult for him. I mean, when you grow, it's like the royal family. I mean, you're born into it. You don't get a choice. Like you
But
just...
if you have a freedom, you just leave the Beckham name and just go.
You can never really leave it though. I mean, that's your name. But I know what you mean. He could have just gone off and just said nothing about his family and just started his own thing, which I think he kind of tried to do.
Here it's a bit similar with Harry because Harry did the same. Like
But it's even
kept
trickier.
the name and then still used the title.
But it's harder. It's
case.
even harder for Harry because I mean you're a Windsor.
But do you want freedom or do you want?
You can't have both.
You want to use the how do you say benefits?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
But,
you can't have both.
But you want freedom as well.
Yeah, they want it both ways. They want to have the trappings of fame and wealth that comes with being a Beckham or a Windsor, but at the same time they want to be separate from it and isolated from it and ploughing their own course, which is kind of impossible to do because you are either a Beckham or you're not. That's the way I see it.
So we're discussing today if being born Beckham is a privilege or a cage.
Okay, I think it's hard. I think it's hard to convince people that it's not a privilege. I mean, this is one of these things where it's like, oh, how hard it is to be rich, successful, really good looking, and you've little to be worried about. if you had problems like the rest of us, you were worried about bills and whatnot, you probably wouldn't have time to think about these things in as much depth as it seems he's thought about them. That said, I mean, I don't know the guy's experience. That's just me casually just saying. I mean, he may be terribly depressed and
he looks like, I believe he is.
Yeah, look, he may be, because everybody's situation is different. You can't go around saying that people are wrong for feeling the way they feel. It's just the way he feels. I'm just saying and I'm sure anyone watching this would agree, it's difficult for people, ordinary people like us, to have that much sympathy when you're absolutely rolling in it.
Yeah, I know he tried photography. He didn't succeed in the beginning, I think, and then he tried. Now I think he's a chef, and
Well,
I don't know if
he
he
does
tried
stuff on
musician.
Instagram, and at this point, I'd like to say that we are also on Instagram cooking cheesy cooking. Cheesy
Just to
cooking.
mention.
Just a little plug there. If you like his cooking, you'll love our cooking. Yeah, like he's trying to find his way in the world. He's still very young. Like, what is he? He's not even 30, maybe.
No. I don't think he's 30. He's 20 something.
Yeah, I think he's 20 something.
25
He's still
or
finding his way. He'll probably regret this, because
That's what Beckham said.
Yeah,
They
that's
asked today.
David Beckham's answer was spot on. Let kids make mistakes. That is, I'd say, cost him about £800,000 to get that answer from a PR crisis manager. Said, say this, and he said, okay.
It
Say
looked the answer looked very low effort, like
Yeah.
it
was an easy,
didn't
it was a
look
good
like
answer.
it's bland.
Very
It's
measured.
very classy answer.
Very classy answer.
Very like David Beckham
He's
answer.
David Beckham for a reason. And by the way, I really like David Beckham. I think he's a cool guy from what I know. I think he's Victoria Sound.
His documentary was like one of the best documentaries I have ever watched.
Yeah.
Like, it was so.
They're just a
impressive.
nice couple, but that's families. And I think most of us know that. Like people you're going to see it over the next couple of weeks. Everyone's going to jump online and have different opinions about this and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, everybody knows families have dramas. It's just the way it is.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think Brooklyn did the right thing by speaking
No.
publicly?
No. It gets you nowhere. It gets you absolutely nowhere. It hurts people. It brings unnecessary attention. It's very enticing to speak out, because if you think you've been wronged in some way and you're up against a big PR press nightmare that is Brand Beckham, you want to fight back. I get that, absolutely, but ultimately, I don't know if it'll pay off in the end, because people really love David and Victoria, and they'll always go back to the Beckhams. Same the royal family. People always go back to the royals.
Why do you think he posted this now and not before?
I don't know. I guess he feels like he's at the end of his tether. He's probably tried other stuff we haven't heard about. Like we know about the legal letters that they were sending between both camps. So he just probably felt this was the time to do it. Or he got bad advice. Or good advice. It depends on how you look at it.
Do you think from the wife?
Well, everybody listens to their wife, don't they? Oh, sure. Pinocchio. That is true, though. You have to listen to your wife.
Do you think this is real pain or attention seeking?
It's probably a mix of both. They live in a different world than we do, It'd be like me having a falling out with my brother and writing a letter into the newspaper. Nobody really cares. It's like, thanks for airing your dirty laundry in public. But look, is what it is.
Do you think David and Victoria are controlling parents?
Of course they are. Yeah, of course. Absolutely. I'd say that. I doubt it anymore. I mean, the guy's in his 20s and he's living in a different country, so he can do what he likes. But you can't... It's a poison chalice being a brand like the Beckhams are. Because in one sense, you want to obviously have a normal life and a normal family, but you're also quite aware that you're not just one person, you're part of a collective. And you all have to row in behind that. And it sounds to me like Brooklyn didn't want to do that, which is fair enough. You should be able to not do all that stuff.
Is it normal for parents to control their child at 26 years old?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's right.
I'm 40, they still do.
Yeah. I'm not saying it's right, but that's what parents do. Ask any parent, you never stop being a mother or a father, you never stop thinking that you can guide your children in a better direction.
If your partner, if your parents didn't like your partner, what would you do?
It's a big problem. It's a big problem. And people plough on regardless, and they think it'll sort itself out. And sometimes it does. Sometimes, tensions, kind of disappear over time. It's unlikely. I mean, when people don't get on, they tend to stay not getting on. But it's a red flag if your parents don't like the person you're with, for sure. And just for the sense that you're going to have a difficult time ahead of you if you stay with that person.
Do you think your parents would like me?
I know my parents would like me. Both my parents have sadly passed away. But Zuzi is absolutely the type of girl that they were always wanting me to be with. But I kind of rebelled and I went for all the wrong people throughout my life. So no, I'm absolutely sure my parents would love you. Otherwise I wouldn't be with you.
Oh.
It's an honour to my parents.
Oh. Do you think Nicola Peltz is protecting Brooklyn or controlling him?
Don't have a clue. None of my business. I don't know anything about her. I literally only heard about her today or yesterday. I mean, I knew of his wife, but I never really knew who she was, and I have no idea. You know, probably. I mean, like, you know, couples talk to each other.
I saw some videos where they were like meeting, or I don't know, they have an event together with Victoria and Nicola. Nicola is trying very hard to get closer to Victoria.
Sure.
Like, at least that's how it looked like. Like,
Yeah.
she's trying, they're both trying.
Yeah, you see snapshots. You know, it's
Yeah, you don't know.
You don't have a clue. You see snapshots. People pretend. You know.
Why
don't believe your eyes.
Why do families often blame the wife or girlfriend?
Ah, it's easy. It's usually right. No, it's easy, you know, because like when you go through your life, there are people within your sphere of influence that are important. And when you're younger, obviously your parents are in your sphere of influence. They're very, very important. And your siblings, your brothers and sisters, or whatever. And as you get older, your friends emerge, your close friends, they get into that sphere of influence. So you do listen to your friends. And then when you finally meet someone, they kind of take over that role from your parents and your friends. You know, that's what happens, and that's right in a way because you're both. It's both of you against the world in a sense. So you need to get your ducks in a row, and you need to listen to each other. It's part of a healthy relationship. But the problem there is that sometimes the parents feel neglected, and sometimes the friends.
Do you think Nicola made the situation worse?
I've no idea.
Is Brooklyn becoming the new Prince Harry?
Probably.
That's my favorite question.
Well, it's like I said at the top of the conversation. The world sometimes, as the famous saying goes, all the world's a stage. So if you look at the world like you would a TV channel that has to make content, dramas and thrillers and things like that, if you can kind of mix those two together for a second in your head and say to yourself, well, we've got all our politics because that drives the conversation. We've got Trump and Greenland and Macron and Middle East, and that's what drives the narrative every day in everyone's lives. And then you've got your juicy gossip. So you've got you've got your Justin Baldonis and your Blake Lively's last year. You've got your Harry and Meghan's the year before, and this year it seems you've got your Brooklyn Beckham and the Beckhams. So it's about filling people's lives with the stuff that they want. It's just gutter press, really. But there's always a new family or a new drama to come along, you know.
But do you see similarities between Harry and Brooklyn?
Sure, yeah, of course. It's a modern world. It's a 24-hour news cycle. I mean, you're online, you're being scrutinized, and you're living your life under a microscope. So you're going to get caught into these little dramas, and absolutely, there's shades of Harry and Meghan about this whole Beckham thing, and because people will want it to be like that. The media will spin it like that because they'll sell more clicks or whatever it is they're looking for on the basis that this is the new Harry and Meghan. So expect that. You know, and it's not fair because there's going to be villains, and it's not fair because there probably is no villain. It's just misunderstandings and family dramas.
Yeah. Why do some men cut off their family for their partner?
I don't know. Some people, girls do it too. It's not just men. They'll cut off their family to appease their partner. Sometimes they have to do it. You know, sometimes it's the right decision because families can be toxic. You know, sometimes it is the right decision, and sometimes it's not. But people will do that. That's the human condition, isn't it?
I don't think Victoria is toxic. I think she's just she's very controlled and disciplined.
Yeah, probably.
Does fame make family problems worse?
Absolutely. Yeah, of course, it's difficult. Money and fame, they complicate everything. Money drives families apart, even families with not much money. Money can be a real sticking point for most families, and I think anyone watching this can, if they don't have it in their family, they know someone who does. Money makes people argue, but fame on top of that, forget it. Not many of us would know what that's like. I'd say it's really difficult.
Should family problems be shared online?
No, 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 no.
No, Brooklyn.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the car crash thing. People will love to read it and look at it. I'm talking about normal people. When you see normal, like regular Joe Soaps like us, and you watching, although most of you are very special, I'd imagine. But you know what I mean. Nobody wants to hear our dirty laundry unless they see it on Facebook. Then you're going to look at it again. You're like, it's like a car crash thing. You're going to have a quick look. So that's all it is. It's people being nosy.
And once you go public, can you ever go back?
Sure, yeah, you can disappear. Loads of famous people disappear. Off the top of my head, in Ireland, one of the most famous musicians of all time is Enya, and she like supremely successful and manages her public image extremely well and is never talked about or never discussed unless she wants it to be talked about and discussed. So you can do it. People have done it.
Who is more wrong, Brooklyn or his parent? What is
I
your
don't know.
opinion?
They can all get in
What
the
do
bin.
you think?
They can all
What
get in the
Gary
bin.
think?
Bunch of children.
What do you think?
I'd say he's probably wrong. I would always err on the side of David and Victoria's experience. The other kids seem happy. David and Victoria seem pretty happy. So he's a bit of an outlier. Like if I was a betting man, I'd say it's probably the problem lies with him mostly. But then again, God love him because I mean he didn't have a normal childhood. He didn't have a normal life. So it's just complicated. But to be honest with you, like I said, they can all get in the bin because I got my own problems. Sorry, David, Victoria, and Brooklyn. I got my own stuff going on.
Do you think they will ever fix this, or is it over forever?
They'll probably fix it. There'll be a documentary on Netflix, and they'll make money out of it or something. I'm sure they'll fix it.
There was a question.
And by the way, even if they don't, they'll both still make money out of it.
There was a question actually that he could easily sell this to some press or something, and
Sure.
he posted it on Instagram, like how he is not able to make money, but how Victoria is gonna use the whole situation
Yeah.
to make more money.
There you go. She probably will. They're very good at.
She probably is signing Netflix.
Yeah, they're very good at spin. And like it's the old saying, there's no there's no such thing as bad publicity. I mean, what's happening today? Everyone's talking about the Beckhams. Everybody.
But it's not the way how Victoria wanted to talk.
It doesn't matter anymore. It really doesn't matter anymore.
You think so?
Yeah, 20, 30 years ago, I used to damage brands. It doesn't really happen now, Like, it's, you divide and conquer. So you're going to have people who just think Brooklyn is amazing and correct. And then you have people who think that David and Victoria are amazing and correct. And within that division, both sides will make some money and probably do quite well out of it. It'll raise their profiles. If you can even raise a Beckham profile even higher, this will probably do it.
Do you think people who support Victoria Beckham, they're gonna buy more Victoria Beckham
Sure.
brand?
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It injects a bit of life into the brand, It's kind of been quiet for a while. So now we're all back on the Beckham train. So look, I mean, a cynic might say it's all a setup for the whole thing. But I'm not a cynic. Ultimately, people don't really care. They've got their own problems. And it really is, if it's true and it's all exactly as he says it is, it's just sad to see a family torn apart like that, but I'm sure they'll figure it out. They should figure it out because you listen, as I said earlier, both my parents have passed, you only get one mum and dad, so make the most of it while they're around. And if you don't, you'll probably regret it. No, I'm sure when David and Victoria pass, I'm pretty certain Brooklyn won't be going, well, thank God I didn't talk to them for 25 years. It's a recipe for sadness and disaster, and you would hope that they could reach some sort of reconciliation. Okay, guys.
That was it.
I think we've delved into the Beckhams
Yes.
as much as we can. And it's time for me to cook dinner.
Yes.
Yes, we're doing a Chinese broccoli stir fry tonight.
Are we gonna do live cooking tonight or no?
I don't think we're going to do live tonight.
Okay,
No.
that's fine. I'm gonna be busy editing this video.
Yeah, you're going to edit the video. I'm all tired from performing. I'm worn out. I'm performed out of it. I want to just cook and relax. Stick on some Spice Girls. If you want to be my mother. No.
Which Spice Girl was your favorite?
I was a weird. Well, no, I was.
So keep going.
Yeah, no, I like Mel C. Nobody else really. Everyone else fancied sort of Mel B and Victoria and stuff, but Mel C had something going for her when she was younger. Still does. But I did like Victoria a lot. I like Posh Spice. She was hot.
She's still hot.
Yeah.
Like she's
Yeah.
still very pretty.
Yeah, I liked all the Spice Girls. Look, back then when I was younger, there's not a Spice Girl I would have turned down. That's the truth. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Let me know. Let me know. What do you think? Who is right, Victoria Beckham's or
Let us know in the comments what you think.
or Brooklyn? And yeah, let us know what do you think, and like and subscribe, and see you next time.
Yeah, please give us a subscribe. It really helps us out.
Yes.
We're having fun here. And thanks so much for all the comments and all the views. We really do appreciate it. And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
See you guys.